Jindo, it's a pleasure to have you here, man.
Yeah,
Um,
happy to be here.
Super happy. It's been a long time coming. Thank you for visiting Sipher. We are so happy to have you here. Um, and we are so happy that you are our first guest
Wow,
at the Sipher's, I guess, podcast lounge.
it's my honor.
Yes. So let's go back to the beginning. Um, well, I personally know you for a long time. Um, you were one of my first, I would say, mentor when it comes to the blockchain space. But I never quite asked you on how did you get into NFT? Can you share?
Sure. I think it's going back to how I got into crypto. It's back in was it March 2017. I think it's just like in crypto, it's funny because it's really bipolar. Still up to now, but I was looking for an investment opportunity at the time, and somehow when I just Google and then it's like, oh, I saw Bitcoin again. So I was like, okay, I it's time for me to like actually uh, try to learn more about it, because the first time I read the white paper was 2011, and at the time I'm just like totally ignored after like the first two paragraph. But yeah, going back, so I just watched one of the YouTube video. I forgot by whom, um, um, and he giving a talk about Bitcoin, and that's how and that night I couldn't sleep. I actually was just like so excited. I was like, oh my god, this is the next internet. Uh, so yeah, that's how I got into crypto, and it's the more you learn, then the more you realize like this space it's just too good to pass on.
Mhm.
Um,
So this was in 2017,
17, yeah,
and
yeah.
this is your first foray into crypto.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. So uh, when the more you learn about a space, just the more bullish you get. Uh, so and how luckily I actually genuinely really passionate about this space. Yeah, of course, I go through all the boom and burst.
Mm-hmm.
So I went through one of the bear cycle already. But yeah, it's funny because a lot of people think investing in crypto is risky, but for me, I actually slept way better comparing to when I invest in stocks.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, and I just keep up with the space. At the time, not much materials to keep up with the space. At the time, I think Unchained podcast was the one for me to keep up with the space. But and then Banglist come out, um, so get to learn about the DeFi. So and then the DeFi 2020 was really excited, and I actually already loved the metaverse concept
Mm.
back in when Decentraland launched in 2017.
Mm.
So I bought Mana token, um, um, and I actually but I never bought land before. But at the time I would just want to get exposure to this whole metaverse concept. Um, so and then up to I think once the DeFi summers kind of slowed down, you start hearing like these the people I look up to, just start talking about like, oh, NFTs will be next. And
Mm.
at that time I was like, I don't know, it's at January 2021.
Okay, so beginning of last year.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So because at the end of 2020 is when many of this NFT token play is start like warming up.
Mm-hmm.
AXS, Mana, and Sandbox and everything. But I never have a experience or actually getting exposure to like, a real digital asset. I did have that with CryptoKitties back in 2017. It's funny because, but at the time I didn't get it. I I didn't get the whole concept of scarcity.
Did you purchase a crypto kitty?
Yes. So I bought Gen Zero of Crypto Kitties,
Mm,
and from there you can breed it, right?
mhm.
So the whole game is just like
Sure.
keep multiplying the supplies. I didn't get it. I breed some, I sold some. It's just like for tiny amount of money. I said, oh wow, that's so cool. But then I was totally ignoring the real OG, which
Mhm,
is Punk.
mhm.
Um,
At
so
that time.
yeah, so that's one of my biggest regret for sure.
Well, I think we all have regrets in this space.
So many, right?
So many to count. But so to recap, you got into crypto in 2017. You've been through the bear market. You bought some crypto kitties, but then didn't understand
The
much
whole
about
concept.
the power of the concept. And then you were into the DeFi stuff in 2020,
Summer
in
2020, yeah.
2020, and then at the end of 2020, you start learning about NFT, and
Correct.
then January 2021 is when you start getting into it.
Yes, yes. So I start like collecting art blocks.
Mm,
But you know, at the time, after I think I collected the first one is 720 minutes, uh, which is I think that one is after the ringers.
mm,
So I didn't mint squiggles, I didn't mint ringers.
mm.
But when I start hearing people talking about art blocks, so yeah, I try to mint like one per collection. At the time, it's not too hard to
Right,
mint. Uh,
right.
yeah.
And for the audience who may not know, what makes art block or swiggle special?
Oh,
Like, what are they?
so this whole art block movement is, to me, is it's in the top four, one of the most important sector of the NFT landscape, which called generative art. Uh, the OG of generative art, that the really is autoglyphs
Mm-hmm.
by Lava Labs. That actually was the first generative art on the blockchain. Um, and then art block just make it I would say it's more accessible to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So just how you need it is just basically this many of brilliant coders slash artists.
Okay.
Yeah, and they just running codes
Make art.
and yeah, make an output into art. And some of them is like they cannot even expect of the output. So that's what make it
Okay.
magical.
So that means that the creator may not even know what's the outcome of the art,
Correct, correct.
and
Yeah.
it's totally random what you're getting.
Yes, yes. So that was like, to me, was the time the excitement factor as a collector at the time when I go to art blogs. You only seeing like you see on the test net how it might look, but then when you mint, it's all unique to at that moment of that hash. So yeah, I'm always get so excited to see the output
Cool.
of
That's
yeah.
like taking the whole Japanese gachapon to the
Correct,
blockchain, right? But
correct.
now with like artistic input into the blockchain,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, correct, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Okay, so that is NFTs. That is art leveraging NFTs, correct? That is the category of these things.
Yes, generative art. It's by itself is one of the biggest four. Of course, you know the other biggest is the PFP,
Mhm.
uh,
Which is
which
which is the next topic I want to ask you about.
okay,
So uh, from generative art, now we have this PFP movement, and I think some of the top collections are, of course, you mentioned the CryptoPunks, and then now we have the Bored Apes, and then we have the Azukis, and so on.
yeah,
And I personally know that you're a holder of those collections.
yeah.
Um, how how do you learn about them, and what makes you okay? And when do you buy into them, and why?
Yeah, no, it's funny. I think, yeah, I think you remember because I think we were talking about it at the time. My first PFP collection that I mint was Bored Ape.
Wow.
Yeah. So So I had yeah. So I had
And
a
how many did you mint?
6,
6.
which is too little. I mean, from hindsight. But yeah, I have a really good friend in the NFT space. It's Gen 0X. So yeah, he actually was the one who told me about this boy, and then I took a look at the website at the time, and I dig the art. I thought it looks cool, and the people this like maybe people might argue because before that I do have hash mask. I don't know if you
Yes,
remember.
I remember hash
Yeah,
mash.
yeah,
Yes.
but that was people. I mean, people can using this is actually it's earlier. That is for sure. But at the time, they're using this whole bonding curve.
Bonding curve.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
basically, the earlier you get it, the earlier you mint, the cheaper it gets, right?
Mm.
And in order to minting the whole collection, the last person who have to pay like hundreds of ETH.
Mm.
So Hashmash was I got it and I like it, but I think Bo Ape is the one who actually defined the PFP movement because they was like, we are flat rate, we bonding curve, it's a Ponzi. So I like it. I'm in a field, and it took like I don't know 2 days. It's still not minting out, right?
2 days and still not
No,
minting.
no, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's so at the time nobody know about PFP and how crazy it would be.
Mm-hmm.
Then, well, of course, a lot of people would know. It's when Pranksy decided to mint like 10% of the collection, and that's when people Pranksy basic. If you don't know, I think everybody know him in this space
Mm-hmm.
now. And then people like start like rushing into the website and mint out. I As soon as I saw that tweet, I actually went to my computer and I mint 3 more.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like nothing. I don't know why I didn't pull the trigger to put mint like 20 or something.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. But yeah. So that was my first true experience with Boy Ape. So sorry.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Super cool. So, Bored Apes is probably what led you to have confidence and belief in the space. I remember you were telling me about how how the team, the Bored Apes team, Yuga Labs, really execute, on community building, on all this innovation that they're doing. But I remember you also told me that they went through a quiet period where like not much is going on, the floor is not rising to the moon. So it
Correct.
speaks to show that to make a great project, it takes time, and it
Yep.
takes a great community. So in your point of view, I think you mentioned this concept of MVC, minimum viable community.
Correct.
Perhaps you can share more on what is MVC and why is it important.
Sure. Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, what I realized by now that of like the whole concept of MVC and with the branding as a PFP project, of course, I didn't see that on from the early days,
Mhm.
right? But the more this space evolve, you start observing, and you making some conclusion to yourself of how you're gonna see a PFP project should be, which to me, Yuga Labs have done for Boy Ape. I think it should be it's a case study for every project
Absolutely. Yeah.
to want to be on a PFP project. So MVC, this concept, I think is it was mentioned by Alexis. He's the
Reddit.
yes, the
Reddit
Reddit
founder.
co-founder. Yeah, yeah. So, and when I listened to the podcast, I heard that this MVC term, and it clicked. I got it right away. It's like yes, it is the one. So Web 2,
Sure.
I'm sure you know really well from your previous companies. Everything is about MVP, minimum viable product. You building the product to find market to answer market need,
Yes.
and then
Find market fit.
yeah, and then you launch it out to the find early customer, and
Mhm.
then from there you evolving the product from there.
Yep.
For this Web3 in this specific case is the NFT. The whole business model is all flipped upside down. Is it start with the community first. You need to have a minimum viable community that basically you have to build a project that you actually can test the community over time to be there with you through all ups and downs,
Sure.
and they understand your vision, understand the direction of the project, where it goes, and from there you keep delivering or building on top of the community the product that they all want,
Yes.
and it just expanded from there. So that give you actually, once you having a really strong community who will support you, it really giving the team, of course the vision have to stay, stay the same or evolve, but just buying with that model, it just giving the team the room for creativity, the room for you to dream. It's really, to me, it's super exciting.
So once you have your MVC, your community, and they believe in what you're building, they believe in your in the team, in the vision, then you continue to build on top of that platform, right?
Correct.
And then grow and become like bigger, more ambitious, like what we see with Yuga Labs, right?
Correct.
So you mentioned something very interesting, which is like a playbook or case study. You mentioned that,
Right.
and that is something I'm very curious about. Like, is it possible for other projects to learn from Bored Apes, to learn from the case study, and then make it big themselves? Case in point, would you say that Azuki learned from Bored Apes? And if so, what did they learn well? What did they do well? And what did they do different to Bored Apes?
Okay. All right. So let's answer the first part of question. I think that by now, the case study of Bored Ape, for the people who have been in the NFT space, the playbook they roll out, it's, to me, is pretty straightforward. They have paved the way. They have showing everything they've done. They have showing it works and the market like it.
Mm-hmm.
And the community stays strong with it. So to me, it's a success. Having the playbook itself, but to execute it at the level of how Yuga Labs have done, it's a whole different story.
Sure.
Yeah. And there's clearly, you can see there is some similar team have done well, and quite similar approach with Yuga Labs, such as Azuki, like you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that it's funny because I've been through Bored Ape before, so I have seen everything, and then when Azuki comes out, it's hard to explain. It's really giving me the same vibe when I used to how I used to remember about Bored Ape. At first, for Azuki, I think their success is not their success is not, to me, it's not a surprise at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Azuki team have learned everything from Bored Ape and from the whole NFT landscape and market,
Mm-hmm.
and they really fine tune it to be something that really unique for themselves. They're having a really clear branding communication. To me, it's probably the most underrated factor in the whole NFT
Branding
space.
is the most underrated factor in NFT. Okay.
Yes. Because when you start with an MVC, you start with a community. People, if community doesn't understand what your brand is about, they cannot stay with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen so many NFT projects have launched, and they focus like, oh yes, art, or here's the roadmap and stuff, but they forgetting about branding. Then at the end of the day, many projects it just looks like the same. So you need to really establish a clear value proposition of what your brand is about.
I love that. Me being a graduate from commerce and marketing is one of my major. Brand is so powerful. And one of the lessons that we learned back in university or graduate school is that brand has to be authentic, right? You cannot copy and paste brand.
100%. Yeah.
So I personally see so many apes project out there
Yeah.
that are just copies of Bored Apes.
Yeah.
Or so many like Asian anime looking PFP projects
After
out
the
there
Azuki.
that are after Azuki.
Yeah.
And those are just not authentic, right?
Correct.
So how would you know, or I mean, is it gut feeling, or how would you know that, oh, that brand is authentic and that community will believe in that brand?
I think so. So probably it's a combination of a bunch of things, from the experience, from the gut feelings, from the observing of how the team execute and launch. In order to, so to me, for NFT, for the PFP project, in order for them to succeed, art is the first. It to me is probably 30% of what is.
Can we stay on art for a bit?
Okay.
Before we go a bit further, you talked to me on a very interesting concept about art, and how you say that PFP art should be at a certain level. Like it should not be too what's the word? Like too detailed, or too hard to tell the difference. Can you elaborate more on that point?
Sure. Yeah, I think it's yeah. Some people might agree. Some people might disagree with me, but this is just from my personal experience. I have seen so many PFP and NFT projects, and I see which one have been successful, which one has not. And one thing that I have seen is the first thing when I go, I see the art, and after it's revealed, I want to check how many trade they have. Usually, to me, the optimal trade is anywhere from 6 to 8, and less than that is too little, but more than that, it's too detailed. And why do I say this? Because if it's too, so people all want their NFT to be unique, right? But it need to be unique, not too unique, but unique enough so that they can relate, they can forming a sub community inside of the community. For example, like Bored Ape, there will be like a spacesuit gang, there's an ape gang, there's a merge gang. For that, just for example, or for Azuki, a person would be able to tell whether that's their NFT or not right away, just from the fire eyes or from a skateboard trait,
So very clear, distinct visual traits that people can form communities around.
Correct.
And what about people can relate? You mentioned about relating to that. What does that mean?
Yeah, so I think that is it vary with the different culture.
Right.
So we are Asian. So to me, I'm Asian. So when I sing Azuki, they have done an amazing job of. You can see it's really easy to find a character of Azuki that you can relate it to. It could be a hoodie that a red hoodie that you just wear in every day.
Right.
It could be the spiky hair.
Right.
that we have, or it could be just a bean juice that it almost looks like a coffee mug.
Right.
So of those really simple trade, but you can resonate to you in every day.
Got it.
I think it goes a long way. Of course, you don't want to make it too real, because if you make it too real, then not many people can relate. But you make it abstract enough, but make people still can thinking about themselves inside the character. From there, I think that's where the magic happens.
Got it. Those are, I think those are already excellent case studies, right? Those
think
two
so.
projects,
Yeah.
and on the qualities that you mentioned. In order to be successful, not only you need to have a strong community, but you also need to have clear, distinct visual art traits
Yeah.
that people can relate, and then also form communities around. Excellent. So now let's go back to branding, right? We talk about like branding has to be authentic. So how can one project try to become authentic, or in a or a rephrase, like how can you communicate your brand in an authentic manner and get people to back you?
So well, I probably not the best person because I'm not the branding person. I'm able to recognize the brand. It's just because a few teams have been able to done it so well that I clicked right away.
Mhm.
But I I guess just from my take is in this space you want to build an authentic brand that it actually need to be really differentiated. Uh, for example, right now, it for you to starting like a new kind of hip hop related brand just like Bored Ape, or like a skaters of the internet brands like Azuki. If you not unique enough from that, uh, then I don't think it will go far.
Mm.
I mean, I'm not saying that you shouldn't try, because if you actually your core, that's what you believe your brand should be. But I'm just saying the advantage that you have by not being the first is it's not something to you can ignore.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, so I think those just like a really two clear example that I can think of.
Yeah, totally understand. I think with branding, right, it's like art. It's like it's more art than science.
Yeah.
So I
Yes.
know I'm putting you on a tough spot on saying like how do we make it down to a science. So
Yeah, branding is hard.
very
Yeah,
very
yeah,
hard.
yeah.
100%. Okay, so that's the two great projects. But being in this space, we all made mistakes. We all make, I would say, silly investments, silly purchases. We just aped in, right?
Yeah.
So can you tell us, or are you okay to share what have been your worst
Oh boy.
investments in NFT so far?
Oh man, it's hard.
Clearly, you're a master because you haven't you
No.
haven't made any worse investments,
It's
or something that you missed that you like. Oh, I should have bought it, but I didn't.
oh okay, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I probably, yeah, that's still like the I would
not
say,
financial advice.
of course, of
Yeah,
course. I think in my case it would be Clone X artifact.
I thought you bought.
No, but
Okay.
hear me out. So basically, I was really early owning an artifact NFT by with Ferocious, launching Nifty Gateway
Mm-hmm.
a long time ago. And so by just holding that piece, you get to airdrop 3 Clone X vials. And at the time, I think, yeah, I talked to you around that time
Yeah.
too. And I think the so at first I got it for free. So I'm a conservative uh, investor, so I always want to kind of guarantee just some profit. I did sell. I did sell 2 of the vials around, I don't know, for each or something, and then they launching the public sale. And of course, there's hiccups in that, but the end it was 2 ETH per vial, and you get time to mint, right? It's funny because I have seen observe the how Artifact team has been in this space from day one, and I know they're one of the best team in this space. But at that time, just because of the conservative thought, I thought it's like, okay, I already have 1 mint vial, and then I'm just buying one more so that I have exposure of 2 Clone X. Um, and clearly now if you're seeing like how Artifact has done, how Clone X has done, it is it's impressive, right? So my mistake and of that is probably no. My lesson for that is it's hard to go wrong if you really bet in the team that you have seen. I'm not talking about the team that just from the background is like from LinkedIn. Oh, I have past experience in this company XYZ.
Yeah, not that, right?
Not that. It's just because for the people who, if you have been in the space enough and you have seen how the team deliver and execute, if that have passed the test of what you call a proven track record in any project that team gonna launch in the future, it's a really safe bet to really bet on them. So
that's a good lesson learned.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and you have to bet with conviction. So
Meaning
that's what I have. That's what I did for Azuki. That's after I realized that lesson. But meaning that once your thesis, when you have done homework, and you have placed out a thesis that this is the thesis that you want to bet on, this is the team you want to bet on. Now it's the sizing. So in investing, there's the two most important thing is one is the time horizon.
Meaning how long?
Yes. So it could, in any kind of investment that you place, you should having a really clearly of the time horizon that you're willing to hold. Could be anywhere, I don't know, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, right? But you need to having that information ready before you're making any kind of investing.
Sure. So it's not like up only tomorrow.
Correct. Yeah. If it's not double by tomorrow, I'm gonna sell. That's not investing. I mean that's trading. Nothing wrong with trading, but at least in my style, time horizon first is very important.
Sure.
And the other one is sizing. That's mean you can be so right in everything that from the thesis, from the time horizon, but if your sizing is not big enough, then it's not meaningful. Then you have to constantly looking for all the investment that you need to do like the same homework over and over again.
Right.
So if you have come across some kind of like investment opportunities like this, you really have to go with the conviction.
That's amazing advice.
Yeah.
So do your homework, research into the team on their track record for execution, right? And then once you have that conviction, size, right?
Yep.
You must bet with size.
Correct.
And not bet, but like invest with size,
right?
Because it's not about trading. It's not about 2x the next day, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So as an investor, NFT investor, what are the tools that you use for your daily lives? Like what kind of marketplace platform do you use? What kind of toolings do you use?
So I mean, in terms of the marketplace, of course, I think right now the two main one is OpenSea and LooksRare. But these days, because the marketplace have evolved so much that many new companies, amazing, brilliant team have launching an alternative tool for you to buy and sell or to sweep the floor. And to me right now, my favorite is Gem. That's XYZ. When you go to Gem, you can actually see the price across the main platform from OpenSea to LooksRare, and you can filter through from price, from rarity, because in this whole PFP space, rarity matters. So that tool, I have used it and I still continue to use it. It's so good. But yeah, most of the time is if I usually go there first, and if there's something specific I want to buy or sell, I just interact with the platform.
And then Discord is like the go-to place for NFT like alphas, right?
Correct.
How would you go about use Discord? Because to some of us, it can be so messy.
Oh yeah. It's so yes. Disco. Yeah, I go disco every day. Of course, as an NFT collector in this space. I mean, first you just to me it's just usually I go there. I want to check the announcement first. So let's just say I'm like I want to go in to see Azuki project. Usually I just checking the announcement, and then from there, if there's nothing really new in the announcement, then I go hang out in the main Discord of the Azuki holders, and from there you actually um, can really like sharing the vibe that you it's like so many things can spin off from like the holder itself in the Discord, and from there it actually give you the confidence of how healthy of the current NFT project that you are holding right now. So to me, it's really important. Before we didn't really have an alpha channel in the Discord, so uh, sometimes people share something that they find really nice over there. But right now on almost in every project they all have the alpha channel. I rarely go to that channel. It's just because it's just too much. Uh, a lot. So right now I'm just since beginning of this year, like I said, the whole thing about the bet with the conviction. I have realized is the the real way you want to win in this space is you just you just need to concentrate in the field project. And so yeah, I mostly just spend time in a few project that I'm super bullish on. Like I don't know, yeah, of course Azuki, Doodles, and Clone X, for example. And when outside of Discord is on Twitter. If you want to really follow the right people. I mean, there's so many information, and there's no formula for you to really go into. Okay, if you do this A B C D, that's how you're gonna get Phi Alpha. It doesn't happen that way, right?
Mhm.
It's sometimes it's really uh, you just happen in the right place at the right time. But yeah, just by following the people who you actually believe they you kind of respect or you trust, then usually from there they either starting a project or they support a project, and from there your job as the investor, you have to go to the website, check out the project by yourself.
Mhm.
It's it's much easier said than done. Most people just ape first and then do research.
Yes.
I do that many times too. But when I look back and when I realize the best play that I win the most is when I actually do research first,
Mhm.
because from there that you can bet with conviction. You bet
Sure.
on the team. You bet on with
You
the
feel more
right
confident
sizing.
deploying like significant size.
Correct. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so those are the tools that you use for your daily activities for NFT collecting. And through, I mean, the year is just starting, right? We're about to finish. We're entering into Q2,
Wow.
the second quarter. It's really fast. So, what do you see? What trends do you see in the NFT as overall, not just PFP, but NFT overall for 2022 this year and 2023 next year?
I mean, it's in this space hard to see like over a year. So I'm gonna focus on this year because we're only in Q2.
Very true.
Yeah. Uh, I I think what you guys building in Sipher. I think the right now the gaming NFT space, we all know it will be massive, but the real the option you actually can from an investor point of view, the you don't get that many options to really invest, just because we haven't had a really good, like truly a game that you actually can play and enjoy, and you putting the tokenomics, the magic of NFT. So that's actually the space, like so I'm not a gamer myself, but I know this space is gonna be big, and I'm seeing what you guys have
Cool.
built.
We're excited
Yeah.
to be building in this space. I think gaming. I agree, 100%. We think that gaming is a logical use case for blockchain, and
100%.
NFT is one of like the amazing technology that gaming companies can do. So totally, super happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Apart from gaming, though,
Yeah.
what other trends in the NFT space do you think that could pick up in this year?
Uh, it's hard. So I'm like really bullish on the, just the metaverse itself, but you know it's kind of blending with the gaming too. But I do think the magic of just for an NFT world is just one example of if you providing a tool for people to be creative,
Right.
and being the tool for them to build,
Right.
you see magic. That's why you see magic happen.
Mhm.
So I'm bullish in the metaverse, which is lands in this case.
Metaverse lands.
Yeah, yeah. So what NFT world is like all just a few example.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's funny because I don't own a real house yet, but I do own digital house or digital.
Who cares about real physical properties anyway, right? We all will be living in the metaverse soon. Okay,
Yeah,
so
and
metaverse land.
yep, and the other space, I think I'm still struggling trying to find what is the best way to bet on it. Is the music NFT. Um, um, I think the music industry it is meant to be disrupted, and the best way to disrupt the music industry is through the NFT. So I'm just super excited about how. So I think we chat offline about this a little bit regarding to the social token,
Sure.
also on the music NFT. Uh, they overlap at some point,
Yeah.
because it's starting with the creator,
Yep.
and from there the creator launching
Yep.
the product by their brand, right? Which is a form of social token. So I still trying to find still waiting for that moment of what is the event that really break out, helping the music NFT break out.
Well, I hope it's the Snoop Dogg on Cardano event.
Wait, is it really?
Yes.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
Oh my
this
god.
is what I read. Snoop Dogg is launching something on Cardano.
Oh gosh.
It has to do with music NFTs. I could be wrong, but yeah, that could be the event that we're not expecting, but that could be looking for.
Don't buy Cardano. Don't buy ADA.
Okay.
Oh, man, I'm gonna get
Yeah,
so
not
much.
financial advice as well. So talk about music NFTs, and we talk about metaverse lands and gaming using NFTs. One trend I've noticed recently, very recent, is also DAOs using or leveraging or issuing NFTs. Um, do you see some of that use case anywhere?
Wait, can you elaborate more?
Yeah. So recently, I think Element Finance, which is like a derivative of
Yeah.
a wrapper for Ethereum staking, Ethereum 2.0 staking, they released their like so-called DAO NFTs, and it's one way to, of course, reward their communities, but also it has also some mechanism that comes to like possibly like voting or like contribution rights and everything.
Okay. Okay.
So do you see something like this happening across many more DAOs, and do you see NFTs just going to become everywhere? Like every organizations will ultimately have some form of NFT.
Yes, I mean that's for sure. You can already see every brand, every product, as someday they're gonna have they're gonna have to have something to do with NFT.
Sure.
The example that you just gave me about DAO is so I don't see that I mean much yet. Maybe I'm just gonna outside that kind of the
Oh, just
DeFi
recently. I
space.
heard it like yesterday.
Okay, okay, yeah, I know it's like there is right now getting more and more, there is DAO is formed to buy NFT. So you probably already know.
Of course,
yeah,
yeah.
So that
Constitution DAO,
correct.
or like what is it, the Blizzard DAO? Yeah, that's a few.
Yeah, or even the DAO within, like for example, we have the Spirit DAO of Azuki.
Right.
So there's only 100, only 97 of Azuki. And
are you part of the Spirit DAO?
No, I wish. I passed that chance. I was so close to purchasing a Spirit. I think it was for 30 ETH, but I didn't pull the trigger. So I was not part of that. But it's this kind of sub DAO winning the community. They are formed to really protect their protect and really building something out of that specific
so
DAO.
interesting.
That's why I said making the trade relevant enough. It's really important because you can see like so many sub DAO will be formed under a community. So in this case, it's Spirit.
So it's like a sub community within a larger community.
Yes,
and they're all brought together by the brand, right? The team, the original team, the vision. But then they all start to create their own little pockets of awesomeness.
Yeah.
Super interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting close to the end now, so I have just 2 more questions for you.
Okay.
One of them is a bit of a personal question. So, are you a Sipher holder?
Yes. Sipher and Nickel.
Awesome.
I mean, Inu and Nickel.
Inu and Nickel NFT holder. Thank you.
I mint it, and yeah.
Thank you for that. So, you share about how bullish you are on gaming NFTs, and thank you for being a holder. You probably know this. Building games, it takes a lot of time.
Yes.
A long time. It's a long road. It's very challenging. So, any advice that you can give us as a team that we should basically apply or improve when it comes to building the metaverse within Sipher?
I think just I mean, first I got lucky enough to see the beta version that you have shown me, and it's freaking amazing.
Thank you.
So I do think that this has to be your core of really launching a game that actually I really believe all of the Sipher holders right now is all almost like every one of them, it actually believe in your vision and actually is waiting to really playing the game. They're not waiting for I mean, yes, there's different utility is needed, but for now, I'm really excited of when you're launching the game. That's when I believe that's when the real test is gonna be, because from there I think it's
the true value.
Correct. That's when you actually deliver the true value. Is a great game for the Inu or Nickel holders to play, and from there, once you have proven the game is great to play, and from there you can innovate on top of. I'm sure, like it's by you're having a really clear vision of delivering utilities on top of that for the holders. I do think gaming. I really think utility is important. You don't want to keep giving utility without tidying all of them. They need to be a part of a story.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I really agree with that. We learn a lot from different projects that are giving a lot of like utilities in sort of like inverted commas.
Yeah.
But ultimately it doesn't tie anything together. Like there's no ultimate purpose.
Correct.
But for us, when we think about utilities, we try to think like you. It has to mean something. So whatever we give them, it has to be something within the game or within the game universe.
Right.
So that's something that we're very careful about, and really glad that you think the same thing. So advice taken. We should be super focused on delivering a great game.
100%.
Ultimately, that what makes or break a project.
Yeah.
Thank you. So last question. we're all waiting for this moment. So where's the alpha?
Oh no.
What could we or what should we look into as NFT fans, collectors, lovers? And of course, these are not financial advice.
Right.
And
Oh,
you invest at your own risk. So
man.
I'd love to hear some.
Oh, and some. I don't think I have. So I think it's depend on the audience, of course. But right now, I still think it's the best. The best. You should bet on the already proven team.
Mm-hmm.
To me, for example, and of course, some project have go up so much, so maybe the
entry is too high.
Yes, the entry is too high, or like the upside is not there. But I would, to me right now, it's not mean I shield my back, but I think Azuki still having a huge room to run, just by observing how the team have been executed from day one. Everything is flawless. The community is so strong, and I really think right now Azuki is still super huge potential to go. So for people who doesn't could not afford like the Azuki, there's different ways. As you know, you can buy the 20K collections, the beans that the team airdrop to the Azuki holders, or just getting some fun exposure through the Bobu experiment, the fractionalizing IP of that Bobu character. Right now my highest conviction bet is on Azuki, and I think right now for around 27, 28 for Azuki, the still great room to run.
Amazing.
Maybe I have one more.
Please.
Wow, I'm bullish on the metaverse land. So there's a key project, but recently, I think just yesterday, the World Wide Web land have released some alpha for the holders, that there might be some tokens coming soon for the holders. So I know some of the NFT whales have swept the floor last night, and I think right now the floor of around anywhere from 1.5 to 2 ETH has been tested for a while. So they have been consolidated for a good time. So I think once they actually release the token, I think it'll be exciting.
Awesome. So we have two alphas, right?
Yeah.
One of them is, of course, your conviction on Azuki, and another one is the metaverse land World Wide Web's
land. Yeah.
Land, because
those are my backs. So yeah, I don't mean to share it, but I truly believe.
No, you put money where your mouth is,
correct,
right?
correct.
That's how it is. Awesome. Any last words? Any things that you want to share or that you want to say that I have not been able to ask yet?
Yeah, I think my last word is we in this space. So I think in the NFT space itself, we all know we are super early, but many of them doesn't mean that we're not overvalued. Many are way overvalued. So
overvalue.
Yeah, way many projects that not deserving to be where they are. So when you come to this space, you might be overwhelmed with majority of those. So really, to do well as a real investor in this space, you have to be patient. In terms of patient, I'm not saying like patient of just holding your back. Patient here is through what we have discussed just now. Patient in terms of really learn about a project. You don't need to get into the mint, public mint, if you have not having that conviction. You can buy from secondary, and if you actually have done your homework and have believe it's gonna be a good bet, then buying from secondary is fine. So yeah, and once you actually already having done enough homework, then you would have a conviction to hold through the ups and downs. Um, so I know it's like in this space right now, it's a lot of traders and investor. So everybody should find a style that suit them. But to me, it's just like it's really straightforward in terms of you need to put in the time to really every time that you make an investment, you really need to put the time on it. Otherwise, you would just keep uh, buy high and sell low.
Yeah.
You
Otherwise,
would,
you're just trading and gambling away.
correct. You want to do the opposite. So
Jindo, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for all the alphas and all the lessons learned from your NFT journey. Um, the whole space is still so new.
yeah,
We are so early, but I think having people like you in the space, advising us, advising our team, giving us pointers, giving us feedback is one of the like the most powerful tool that we can ask for. So we thank you for your time, and we really look forward to together in this space, help build it and then help make it much better.
yeah. No, thank you for having me. And then yeah, I'm very excited for what Cipher gonna bring to the whole space. People gonna be amazed.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.